Hey, how's it going, everybody? JJ Starwind is here, and welcome to another JJ Starwind Corner episode, episode 90. So, for this particular episode, I found an interesting article from the site Game Rant, written by this gentleman here, Gerardo Molina. And so, it's like a bunch of articles related to Assassin's Creed games, the franchise from Ubisoft and everything. And so, with their upcoming game Shadows coming out, this kind of popped up on my recommendations feed on my cell phone, and I decided to look at it. And I was like, well, I might as well do an episode about this because some of these games I have played the whole way, and some I'm replaying right now. I'm actually replaying at the current moment Assassin's Creed Rouge. If requested, I could do a live on that, but not, it's okay. But I am playing that, and I'm actually doing old recordings of Rouge, which is basically like an encore version of Black Flag. And I'm not going to say where Black Flag is at, but let's go down the list of this particular article. They have similar articles as well talking about which Creed game has the best open world, which Creed game had the best overall city, and how long does it take to beat each game and things like that. But this one in particular will focus on gameplay. So let's get started. Hopefully you don't hear the mouse. So at number 8, we got Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now this one I have not played yet, or I've yet to play. Heard decent things about it. This one is set in London, if I'm not mistaken. And this is besides the Shadows game where they have like an actual historical figure in the game that you can play as. I believe Jack the Ripper is you can actually play Jack the Ripper in this game, which is like another historical figure. So you can actually play as him. So this game in particular, Syndicate, is the first game where you can have a historical figure in the game. You can actually play as that person. So the next one, number 7, is Assassin's Creed Unity. Ooh, Assassin's Creed Unity. I almost bought this game, but I decided not to get it because then I saw the reviews when it first came out back in, I believe it was 2015. Ooh, man, the reviews was bad. And then I saw the amount of glitches this had. People people complain about Cyberpunk 2077 having glitches early on. Well, this game right here in particular was just as bad, maybe almost worse than Cyberpunk. Like the amount of glitches I saw in there was that bad off, man. Now, on a positive note, this was the first, I believe was the first game, or maybe the second game. No, it's probably the first game that had dual characters, so you could play the male and female protagonists, because they actually had two assassins in this game. I think it was, the female was called Evie, and then I think the male was named Arno. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I almost bought this game and I didn't buy it because I saw how bad the reviews were, and then I saw the gameplay and I saw all those glitches on it. And I'm like, nah, I'm not touching this. So the first two games right off the bat, I haven't touched. Okay, I don't know if I am gonna play them. Maybe. I still got some time between now and Shadows comes out, so I may finally play Unity, but we'll see. Maybe they got those glitches fixed. Now this next one I have played, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now this is the one with the Vikings in it, okay? So you can change the gender of the protagonist, male or female, but the canon story it's female, Eivor. Okay, so this game is not too bad. The map is very big. You can basically conquer damn near all of England, but you actually start off in Norway. I remember that. So when you start the game, you're actually in the ancestral homeland of the Vikings in Norway, and then from there you travel to England, and then the DLC version I believe was Ireland, and then you had this the Valhalla version where you go in there and you're literally fighting as Odin, I think. So you got all the different DLCs, Ireland, and then the Valhalla version where you go and fight Ragnarok or whatever. So you got that going for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So this one's not too bad. If you can get used to the boss fights, then this it's not a bad Assassin's Creed game here. Number 5 is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Yeah, this is a classic. Brotherhood's a classic. The reason why is this is like the first game where you actually built with Ezio, you actually build a team network of assassins. So this is like the first game where when you're about to do a mission, you can literally call out your posse, your fellow assassin brethren to come and help you out in the mission. So that concept was dope. I really like that they went to that concept Ubisoft did at the time. I'm trying to remember what year this game came out. Maybe it tells me. Hold on. I'm looking down the article. Yeah, 2010. There you go. So this game came out in 2010. And this time you get to go to Rome. So when you start off as Ezio, you're in his hometown Florence, and then you travel to various other cities like Venice, and then you go to Rome at the last minute. So, but this one is like an expansion of that. So it kind of starts off right where 2 left off, Brotherhood. Now that I remember, it starts off as such. I played this game twice. I played it when it first came out, and then I played it again. What year was that? 2017 probably, or 2018, one of them years. That was like the second time I played it. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, number 5. Number 4 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know about this one. I don't know if I would rank this ahead of Brotherhood, in all honesty, because Brotherhood was so, I ain't gonna say revolutionary, but it was great at the time when it came out in 2010. Now this one came out in 2018, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And this was the first game where it felt more like a RPG rather than a classic Assassin's Creed game. Well, Origins was more like that too, but the difference was in Odyssey, you actually play either male or female, and depending on what gender you pick, the protagonist was obviously the hero, and if you didn't choose the opposite version of the protagonist, he became the villain. He or she became the bad guy in a sense until, well, you had the option to either kill your sister or brother, or you could keep them alive and you can actually turn them on your side. So this game actually has multiple layers to it and alternate endings. But I believe the leader of the Cult of Cosmos remains the same, if I'm not mistaken, regardless. So that was the actual villain, the head of the Templars at that time, the Cult of Cosmos. They went by a different name, now that I remember. But yeah, interesting story, nonetheless. Greece was a big map, so you get to basically sail all over Greece. You visit all these different islands, and you're in the middle of a war between the Spartans and the Athenians. And I think in that particular war, the Athens eventually fell to the Spartans, I guess, for a time. I could be wrong, but that was such a long time ago. So there's number 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Number 3, Assassin's Creed Origins. Yeah, I just mentioned this game. This game was pretty good. I can't even lie. This was a pretty good game. It was, the story was kind of sad and tragic a little bit, but there was still a lot of good gameplay in there. A lot of interesting characters. You get to play Bayek Asiwa, and then you also, briefly, you got to play his wife too, until they split at the end of the game. Spoiler alert. Her name was Aya. Okay, Aya. And then Cleopatra was in the game too, so there was some eye candy in this game with Aya and Cleopatra in there. I'm not gonna say what role Cleopatra played in, but you do get to help her for a time as Bayek. But yeah, you basically just run around trying to figure out, who was involved in Bayek's son's murder until he finds out and stuff, and then things just kind of go left from there. But overall, this basically tells the story of how the assassins came to be and how the Hidden One's name came to be. And Bayek was basically the founder of such movement. So yeah, Origins, really solid story. Gameplay was pretty good. But this was the first one where it felt less like Assassin's Creed because you just run around the desert finding all these different bad people and you killing them off one by one and stuff like that. And you fight more melee style than you was doing stealth. So you could say this was the first game where it kind of deviated from the traditional Assassin's Creed style of stealth and murders and stuff like that, assassination attempts. So yeah, that's number 3, Assassin's Creed Origins. Number 2, Assassin's Creed 2. Again, all-time classic. This was before Brotherhood, so this was the predecessor to that. Like I said, you get to play the legendary Ezio Auditore, right? A descendant of Desmond Miles. in the game, of course. And like I said, you start off in Florence, where he was born. Find out he's from a well-to-do family until, tragic struck and he damn near lost all of them except for his mom and sister. And then from there, he's just trying to figure out who was responsible for killing off all his family and brothers like that, his father, brothers. And then he finds out about the Templars, and then he later finds out about the assassins, and he finds out, oh wait, my father was one? Okay. And so he becomes an assassin. And then the legend goes from there, man. I mean, he kills it. He does a lot of amazing feats while he's in Florence and while he's traveling throughout Italy and going to Venice and later going to Rome to deal with the Pope. So, all-time classic story, all-time classic character, man. Assassin's Creed 2. And number one, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at this at all. Most people shouldn't be surprised. Assassin's Creed 4, also known as Black Flag, the pirate game. Arr. Yeah, this game was all-time classic, man. Anybody saying otherwise is not a Creed fan. They don't know what they're talking about at all. So this game, I believe, came out in 2014. No, 2013. There you go. 2013. You get to play Edward Kenway, who's also a descendant of Desmond Miles, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't know a single thing about the assassins until, gradually he befriends other pirates. And he finds out some pirates are for the Templars while others are for the assassins. So he was fortunate to be friends with one of the pirates, Billy the Kid, who turned out to be a woman. Why did I say Billy the Kid? I meant Mary Reed. My bad. That's a cowboy. I meant to say Mary Reed. But she went by a different name, I think, until she actually told him, like, I'm a woman, posing as a man, stuff like that. So Kenway finds out that she's an assassin. And then over time, his harbor mate or shipmate, Adewale, who you also get to play on a side game called Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, after Edward Kenway goes back to England after he gets done with his pirate duties and he embraces his assassin role more seriously. He decides to go back home to England after he reunited with his daughter. And so if you got to play as Adewale, that's like after Black Flag, the Black Flag story. So once he finds out from not just Mary Reed and Adewale about the assassin order, that's when Kenway becomes an assassin. And then over time, he has to deal with the Templar influence that's gaining a foothold all throughout the Caribbean. Because some of them killed off some of his pirate friends as well, so he didn't like that either. So, yeah, it's a lot of crazy twists and turns in that story. And you get to blow up ships, you get to destroy all these different type of naval vessels, and some of them you get to keep too, and you build you a fleet. And this is like the first game where you kind of build was it the first game? Maybe not. I think it was Assassin's Creed 3 was the first game where you actually build a navy and some type of trading network where you kind of send your allies to various cities and they gather intel and information about other targets throughout the world and stuff like that. So that was a cool feature too. But I don't think it was Black Flag was the first game to do that. It just enhanced it more from what I remember. It just enhanced it better. So yeah, man, Black Flag. And above all else, please play Black Flag, okay? If you want to give Assassin's Creed a shot. I would not skip Assassin's Creed 2. I would not skip Black Flag, okay? If you want to, you can skip 3, but 3 was alright. But yeah, definitely Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Black Flag. To me, those were all-time classic Creed games right there. Alright, so that's the list from Game Rant called the best gameplay Assassin's Creed games. So if you guys got a list of your own, please tell me. And you can put in the comments if you would like. And we'll try to come back with another corner episode pretty soon. So thank you all for listening. That's the list. I'll see you all next time.